Get your day started right. From our shack to yours, this is Coffee and Ham Radios. We are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome to Coffee and Ham Radios, guys. Look at that. I got my coffee here. I spent all day yesterday at the yurt trying to get Fool's Day
Someone
work.
didn't get the memo up there.
Yeah, full day work before it started raining yesterday. And right as we get done, the lady that owns the property, she goes, "My donkey fell and can't get up. Can you guys help me lift it up?" And it's pouring rain, man. I got soaked by the time I got out of there. Ape, what you got going on today? Anything? Or this week? Whenever.
Nah, nothing too exciting. Working on a battery video, so I was doing some testing before the show. Hopefully, I'll get it out today. And then I sold 2 VNAs yesterday, and I was a little busted up about it because I like having all these VNAs sitting around. But I get someone with pretty
getting
good,
rid of a kid.
Yeah, pretty good price. The one of them though can
Worse.
do S12 and S22 measurements. It's the only one I have that does that. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, I haven't done an S1. I haven't done those measurements in probably 2 years. So I was like, it's time for it to move along to somebody who's gonna use it a little bit better. So
I felt bad the other day when we were talking about the spectrum analyzer I just got. I felt bad about it because you said, well, does it do S12 and 22? And I was like, no.
Right.
But now you're saying you don't even do them. So I'm like, okay, whatever.
Well, the thing is that so Don reached out to me and was asking a question about bandpass filters, and he was saying that do they look different? Are they directional? And they're not supposed to be directional. So the thing is that if they're balanced and built right, your skirts on either side of the filter should look the same.
Right.
But they don't always, right? And so that's why he said that Mike did a video where his was different, facing the other direction. I didn't see Mike's video, but I think he did a cheap Chinese, like one of those Bang Good filters or something like that, or an AliExpress filter, and I think that's why.
K8 or MRD, that mic?
Yeah.
Oh.
So look at this.
You
We
could
get something from
you
Evan.
can test that on the spectrum analyzer too. I mean,
Yeah, all you gotta
from
do
the
is flip it
TG.
around, and look at it the other direction.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So I can live with it. But anyhow, Evan Baccarat, thank you for the $10.
Yeah, thanks,
T.O.
Evan.
he's live. I think he's live streaming with Kyle right now.
I think so. Yeah, they were going to
Yeah,
do a
or
Flex
later
Pro
today or
stream
something.
No, I got it.
Oh, okay. Get off my lawn. Thank
Thanks,
you, Evan
Evan.
Barsnack.
What's Cornbread's
Appreciate it,
problem
buddy.
there?
What would he say? I don't see it.
He's talking about chewing the fat. Bunch of old farts. He
Well,
must be down at the coffee shop or something. Yeah, I need to do a thumbnail, a battery review also. It's amazing these new batteries coming out. The prices for lithium batteries now have finally got pretty low. Matter of fact,
Half of what they
as
were
low
a
as I
year, year
paid
and a
for
half ago.
almost as low as I paid for a lead acid battery. And they're actually passing I can't say that they passed. They might actually pass test now on capacity.
That's right, Taylor. Old Sandy's going to get upset again.
I hope is he laying in bed watching this right now? Because there might be some more trumpets. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we love you, Sandy. We
Just
hope
saying.
you're watching.
We hope, anyhow.
Yeah, like some of these 100 amp hour batteries are like $229. I think is some of the prices I've seen.
I got one for
I've seen
$209. They're sending me, and
Yep.
that's amazing. I mean, well, Power Queen's had a bunch of cells, and their batteries. I've tested a couple of theirs, and they're pretty good. So
I got one sitting in the queue right now.
Yeah.
I bought.
Yeah.
Because I'm not, a professional YouTuber like y'all. I'm only quasi-professional.
Well, I bought the
And,
big one, the 300.
I got
amp
the
hour
mini.
one.
I got the 100 amp hour mini because they had it on sale for some stupid price. And like
like
you're saying,
$200.
it was like $220, something like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I bought my first 100 amp hour was the Chins, and it was like $570 for that thing a year and a half ago. I don't remember how long ago I bought it. I mean, the prices are like half of what they were just a year ago on those batteries.
Yeah.
I've told 3 vendors no when doing reviews because
Are you got battery overload?
Yeah, it's too many, and I don't want to be a battery channel. And
Well,
Don's
at least you keep the old lady happy with all them spare batteries. I'm just saying.
Right. So Don he's the one that was telling me about
had to hook
Mike's
up an
video.
adapter though.
And he said he was over at Mike's house. Maybe they were low pass filters. I don't know. I'd have to check it out and see.
I don't know.
And
I
if
didn't
it
see
is
that one.
labeled, then I would follow the rules of how they're labeled and use them that way. Like some of the attenuators that I've got are labeled in and out. I've tested them bidirectionally and they work bidirectionally, but who knows, man. So what I would say is just follow the instruction manual that came with the device.
James,
Well,
what do
a
you
lot
got
of them
going on?
I got a battery.
We got a lot of stuff here, man. We got to cover.
I got an hour and a half. I got a battery. I'm going to do videos. I'm off for a week, so holy crap, that's awesome.
There you go. I'm off all the time and I
Radio.
can't get it
I'm going
done.
to be doing some POTA hunting today, baby.
Well, I'm working though.
If you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter. It's just what I'm saying.
That's
There's
right.
Don. He said he got the mini Riodo and Red Odeo, whatever. And
Or Dodo.
I think that's the one I
I
got.
hope I
Either
don't
that or
drop this,
Power
but
Queen.
I love Red Odeo batteries.
Well, it's amazing how light they
Let
are
me pull
too.
this one out of my pocket.
Right.
Well, he's probably got 6 sitting on his desk there.
Yeah.
That's why his computer was messed up this morning.
It's ridiculous because I don't even
There's
know how many
interference.
there are sitting around right now.
I mean, do you have a
So-
mission for any of them batteries, son?
Do I have a what?
A mission,
mission.
a plan? Are you going to do anything with them?
Yeah,
Or they
well, I've
just gonna
got
sit there?
I've
you
got
going off grid?
a whole setup upstairs in
Grid
case
down?
the power goes out. Well, in case the power goes out, but like all of our power lines are underground, so it doesn't happen very often. But I've got that, and I use them for some stuff.
They
But,
get fires underground. Man, that's a pain. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I would imagine.
We never had one of those, thank God.
So, you guys ever frequent the 10-meter band? That's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
10
tried.
meters is hot right now. It's been
'Cause
hot
I looked-
for probably 2 years.
I looked back on our videos, and our 6-meter, the one we did to talk on the 6-meter, did really well. I mean, a lot of people seem to be interested. So I was wondering, 10 meters seems to be kind of like 6. It's kind of off and on. At least it has been. Like I said, when I built my 3-element Moxon, it was like off for a month or something like that. But then it can just be super, super crazy, just like 6-meter. And do you guys know when? Take a guess of when we got the 6-meter or the 10-meter band, guys. Do you guys know what year that might have been?
I'm going to say 1914.
Damn,
I'm
he's
going to
close.
say, is this Kyle's dang trivia show? Because I have no idea.
It was October 4th of 1927. So we've had this for quite a while. The band's been, Ape was close. He was a little
He
early.
was close. He was over.
Yeah.
Or under. But
And we got like a 300, what they call kilohertz segment, 29.7 to 30.0. I don't know what that means. That was removed from amateur location in 47. So, it can open up just like 6 though at times and just be, I mean, when I first got into ham radios, 10 was still open. I was talking all over the place. 11 meter had kind of gone away. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll become a ham,
We're getting into
Had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun on. Yeah, let me move all the way to 10 meters, and it's actually meter. I was told you can't add the S when you talk about that.
who told
Yeah,
you
it's,
that?
it's
An official internet expert?
my buddy
hey.
down in San Diego.
Let's
He
get
said it's
TC.
meter. It's the meter band, not the meters band.
No,
What
10
depends on
meter
10 meters.
band.
It's 10 meters or the 10-meter band, yes. That's
Yes.
correct.
See, and that's probably what he was saying.
English.
So, TC Fitz, thank you, brother. Much,
Hey,
much
thanks, TC
appreciated.
Fitz.
Chuck,
TC
it occurs
Fitz
to
and
me,
I are-
with Ape and all
What's
his
that?
batteries, he probably needs to put an NFPA 704 placard up on his house.
Right.
For
All
a
that
hazardous
lithium in there.
material hazmat storage facility.
TC Fitz and I we're being deluged. I don't know how you say that, but it's been
Deluged.
raining. We're not.
It's raining.
Yeah, deluge. We're not used to getting a lot of rain, and it rained pretty hard last night here, but it's pockets all over the state. So I mean, where we're
At the
working
beginning
on
of
the
summer,
year,
you guys
it
were
didn't
getting
rain.
flood rains, though, weren't you?
Before this. Yeah, into winter we had a lot. I mean, a ton of rain. We either don't get any or we get too much, and we lose. Like
So,
I think
Don's like,
the LA area loses
back in
most
the
of their water.
90s,
Yes,
back in the 90s, 10 meters was great.
I was out digging out houses one time in mudslides in my city, and this guy was complaining how slow we were. I'm like, we don't even have to do this. We're just helping you out. This is not our job description.
We had citizens bitching about trees down and how long it took us. I'm like, the county could come out here in an hour or 3.
Yes.
Shut your
but we're here now.
Citizen.
Yeah, we'll open roads for, when we're doing that. Yep. So the really cool thing about 10 meters, 6 meters, technicians have, they're granted, they can use it for SSB and stuff and CW. I guess they were granted that somewhere around 87. And then they keep talking about opening more bands up for technicians.
4?
Especially,
What is the 4-meter band? Did I hear somebody talking about that the other day?
Well, the Europe has that, but they were talking about us trying to get it. Somebody was talking about, let's see if we can get that. I think they were just kidding.
That'd be great if we could get it. But
that's a great, the only thing is 200 watts maximum, but most technicians probably don't have more than 100 watts anyhow. New technicians, right?
Well,
United States technicians. That's different.
A lot of the 10-meter radios that are out there are not ham radios. So
you can.
Yeah.
They call them ham radios, but they're really export radios. And I think that they sell them designed to get you some higher wattage on 11 meters after you cut out the resistor. So I would think you would need to know what you're doing to buy some of those. Like, they don't have clean audio in and out. And then the way that CB radios work is that the audio chain runs through the hand microphone. So, like, you have to, in order to transmit, obviously you have to key up, but it shares the same circuit. So you actually have to use the pins in the mic for PTT and audio in and out, and it's a more difficult interface to build than you get with the ham radio.
I don't think all CBs were that way.
Dirtier,
but some of them were. Yeah. For AM, if you're going to do strictly AM, you might be okay with those because some HF
some
rigs
do FM.
aren't really good on AM sound wise. Your quality for that, but if you guys listen especially on 80 meter, there's a bunch of guys that do a lot of AM. Actually, I'm seeing it on 40 more now too. And if you switch over, some of those guys either sound really good or not very good.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So, how much do you guys run on 10 meter? I know you've been doing a lot of POTA stuff, Jim, lately. Got a lot of hunting.
POTA stuff. That was so cute that you said that.
Yeah.
I do a lot of POTA hunting.
Yes.
I don't know if it's something. And the last time I checked the antenna, 10 meters has got like a 1.1 SWR on my DX Commander. I see it coming in, but I'm not getting out on 10 meters. And I don't know if it's a takeoff angle. I don't know if it's because of my antenna's location to a metal shed. I don't know.
It's just not always open.
It's just
Are you
weird.
hearing people?
Well, I'm on 10 meter FT8 right now. It's not covered up, but yeah, there's a fair amount of signals I'm getting, but nobody answers. And I'm like, I'm confused. I don't know.
Oh.
Are you seeing in PSK Reporter on the display map? Are people hearing you?
I haven't checked this morning. I just fired it up a little while ago. I hadn't even used it yet. So,
Yeah, the other thing I was going to mention about the 10 meter radios that are basically CBs, right? Is that they're not as clean as amateur radios. And so I do watch a lot of the channels where the techs get these things and then they align them and they adjust them so that they sound a little bit better. And you need some serious equipment and know-how in order to do that stuff. Mm-hmm. Every single one that I've seen them test, and it's been tons of them, every single one of them's not aligned right and splatter. And they have to do adjustments on them to fix all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, when we got to 10 meter band, a lot of hams started buying CBs for 10 and convert them. I guess it's a fairly easy conversion to 10 meter. And especially because, they went from, actually it happened when they went from 40 channels, when we went from 23 to 40 channels. What I read was the 23 channel radios were really super easy to buy cheap. So hams were converting them over for 10. And I guess that'd be pretty good for portable. But like you said, a CB is only going to have 5 watts or so. But I guess legally you can add to that once you're a ham.
What about type
So,
acceptance? Because are those going to be type accepted or?
well, it's different when you're doing it yourself, right? I mean, like amps can
Oh yeah,
you
yeah,
can put
that's
out
right.
more
That's right.
power
Okay.
on amp when you build it yourself, type thing. So I think that might get you under that. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on that. I know, and from what Ape was saying too, Josh did a really good video down at the beach one time with one of those ones they sent him. The problem with it, if you watch his video, he's always off frequency, and he had to mess with the frequency a lot to the person he was talking to.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, because they're not aligned, right? So what you
Right.
need to do is you need to feed that into a scope or a frequency counter and then align them. Thank you, Steve. That's awesome,
And
awesome of you.
and also the yeah, thanks, Steve. And also those radios are tricky to get on frequency anyhow, because they're a lot of times they're channelized, right? Didn't you do one Ape that was channelized? There's ways to do it, but it's
channelized.
It's not it's not like just turn the VFO on a ham radio.
Yeah, the one I had, it was a little bit difficult to change. Like, you could go into the software and then program the frequencies that you want, and then you can use like a clarifier, or some of them will have an actual VFO function. But you need to make sure that you have a full frequency display in your VFO, because a lot of them don't, and that's where it makes it super difficult to do.
Yeah, I popped the thing up about Gary. Gary sold CBs and sold ham radios. He went through that period of when things were changing over a little bit, and he was changing over, I guess. He's been a ham forever, but well, not forever, you know what I mean. He's been doing it a while.
You could use a frequency counter too. If you're
Yeah,
talking about
and
just aligning it, just get a frequency counter and get your alignment done. But
I have a Cobra 148 with a frequency on it. My buddy of mine went through the whole thing. It'll do everything, and it's the problem with doing everything. If you don't use it all the time, it's confusing, because
Thanks,
you have
Don.
to switch.
See ya.
You have to switch a bunch of things.
Thank you, Richie.
Richie's
Thank
you, Richie.
Appreciated.
I think my notes here said that PSK 31 stuff is. I think that's legal for the. I think that was including the technicians there also.
I think all the digital modes are
28 120.
They
are
are.
legal for techs. Yeah.
Okay, so that's. I mean, and almost 6 meters the one, if you're buying old radios, you don't get, but 10 meters almost always there. So, like the little ICOM IC 718, you don't get 6, but you get 10. That's why I like the when Yasu made that FT 450, it had everything. It was just like a newer version of a really reasonably priced radio, which I don't think anybody really offers now. I mean, you're talking your reasonable price radios now is a 710 and a 7300, right? Great radios. I mean, they're both great radios. So, but you're not buying those $600 radios. Well, you see the 718 still out there, but it's just lacking a few things for me to actually say, yeah, you should go buy this radio. There's better radios.
Yeah, Brian, I don't have the Gable. I know the TO has.
TO does.
I do.
I have an MFJ somewhere around here, an MFJ that it looks like it's the exact same antenna as the Gable, but I don't remember any jumpers on the coil. So the coil that I have is a sliding coil that extends.
Oh, I'm thinking of that stand thing. No, he's talking about that toy box antenna. I bet that's the one.
No,
he's
the
talking
Gable.
about.
No, the Gables. Teal had that one. I've got it also. It was the guy with has the nice little tripod for it and everything.
Yeah.
It should get 10. I've got one. I need to do a video on it, because I did it and then I lost all my stuff. I was down at my son's house out in the front yard playing, and I don't know where all my footage went. I think it was in my phone, which I probably just deleted it by mistake. Oh, he says Don saying the 1900 is different. Maybe it's a different antenna. I'm not sure which one mine is.
It's too many numbers to memorize. All these different
It is.
antenna
It's like
manufacturers.
math. It's like math.
It's just too much. Like, so anyhow, I sold an antenna yesterday, the Chameleon MCOM 3, and I couldn't remember if it was the MCOM 2 or 3, and I had to go digging back in my email to find the invoice.
Did you figure
for
out which correct antenna it was that you sold? Or
Yeah,
were
but
you
I sold it.
bullshitting
I sold
in
it. The guy I sold it to will complain about anything, and he would complain if he won the
But you sold
lottery.
to Don?
And
Oh, Jim, yeah.
I bought it from me. He told me it was an MCOM 3. I'm gonna be sad if it's only got one MCOM.
It's
on
MCOM
it,
3.
Like,
Wow.
damn it! Where's my other M's?
So let me read something that I stole off the internet here. Propagation characteristics.
Have you
Oh,
got
I did a lot of
slide
research.
shut?
I did a couple hours of research for this video, guys. Hopefully it works out here. It's good.
What? That's professional.
Due to unique spots in the spectrum, 10 meters can occasionally be challenging to work at peak times of the solar cycle, when many sunspots appear in the sun's surface. 10 meters can be alive with extremely long distance signals refracting from the F2 layer of the ionosphere. So, like, that's a little bit like what Ape, 6 meter and 2 meters, kind of that way too, right?
They can. I actually dropped
And that's
some
what
slides.
that's actually what I was saying earlier about it can be a lot like 6, but it's there more often than 6. That's the nice thing. Even though 6 is there all the time, because Gary talks every day to Florida and Texas.
Well, it depends on
you have to have people on the other end.
Yeah, well, it depends on the propagation. So, like, I just put this together. Actually, I did it before for a different show, but so 6 is always going to be there for line of sight, and same thing with 10, right? And so that's when your waves just go from antenna to antenna via straight line. So, like, a lot of times you'll see like FM 10 meter nets in local areas and stuff like that. Now you can still contact them via skywave propagation. So, like, a lot of people are really excited about the there's a 10 meter FM repeater in Catskills in New York State.
Right.
And folks from Europe are hitting that right now.
Our buddy Chris.
I don't remember the name. Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but check it out. And I remember I was talking to T.O. when he was back in Wisconsin, and he wanted to be able to hear himself on 10 meters. And I said, dude, you got to use that Catskill repeater because it's also echo linked. So you can listen to yourself on echo link and see how you're being received there. But ground wave is when your signal gets out and it travels along the ground. And it's typically used for like shorter wave communication. It's a little bit further sometimes than line of sight, but it works with like vertically polarized antennas a little bit better. It's how AM signals work. And so that's always going to be open too. It's the skywave propagation is the one that's really dependent upon ionospheric conditions. What's up, Cal? And that's when your signal goes up and refracts off of the ionosphere and comes back down. Right. And so there's a couple of different things, and we can pull up the MUF map and talk about that. But the conditions really vary based off of time of day and the direct rays of the sun and all of those kind of things. And so what you need to do is you need to have your 10 meter frequency in between the MUF and the LUF. And so the maximum usable frequency is the highest frequency that you can use during a given time. And so what'll happen is if your frequency is above the MUF, it just goes straight through the ionosphere. Now your LUF gets absorbed at your lowest usable frequency. If it's below that, then it typically gets absorbed. So lower frequencies like 80 meters are more likely to get absorbed into the ionosphere, and 10 meters is more likely to penetrate through. So you have to get that delicate balance. But right now, with all the solar activity that we have, the ionosphere becomes denser, and so it makes it more difficult for something like 10 meters, for example, to penetrate through. Now you get spots in the ionosphere where things like 6 meters will refract down because those spots are particularly dense. But that's really, in a nutshell, why 10 meters works better sometimes than others. And then also aligns more cyclically with the solar cycle.
I'm not sure about Dave's question. I don't know if that they can't. Maybe they can't. I can't. I don't know. You guys know the answer to that one?
I don't know, but I would.
Know.
I'm like, I don't know.
I would think if it's in the
range
frequency ranges, yeah,
because they don't have
maybe
a
it's
lot
because
of
it's
10 meters.
It could be because it's out of their range.
You know what? I think on 10 meters, texts are limited to digital modes, data modes.
No, they have some.
They have
some 10 meter voice. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The other thing too
is
in
their range, then it should be fine.
Yeah, it would have to be in their range that they're allowed.
I don't think it is,
and that's probably why not. Also, it's more of a daytime ban, but the article went on to say that during those sunspot things that you can get it early in the mornings also, and at night. So 10 is most likely going to be open during the day, and that's pretty much like 11. It's going to open on the East Coast, like because of the way the sun goes before it gets here. I used to have guys like, "Hey, make a contact with me on 10 or 11 or something like that," and I go, "I got to wait a few hours, dude, because I have nothing here." So it's more like 20 meters. It's kind of a day one too, but you can talk at night a lot of times. And for me, it's night for me, but I talk to Australia and New Zealand, so it may not be for them, That's when they seem to be on for me.
Rojet has smacked some knowledge down upon us.
He's a tech, so he should know. Oh, no, He's not. 28.3 to 28.5. I probably had that in my notes here someplace. And that 28.4 is a real popular area for people to start on 10 meter, right? In fact, that one guy calls all the time, and if you answer him, he'll tell you your signal's weak. So that's what I always tell him. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, there's this one guy that's down like in around Georgia. Is that the guy you're talking about? Who won't even reply unless you're a 5'9".
Yeah.
And he's like, in the weeds.
Yeah.
Like, even though he can hear him fine.
Yeah, he's usually in the weeds to me. What are you running, 10,000 watts, dude? Because
I was. He was calling CQ, and I was responding to him, and then he would be like 5'9", and then he wants to go on to the next guy. This guy's a total jerk, and I'm like, can you say that again? And I was giving him a hard time, and I'm like, you're coming in about a 4.7, and the guy would get all mad because he's always saying how good his signal is.
It would, yeah. That guy's when I was where I met Gary at. On this site we used to be on, he's still on there quite a bit. I'm not on there as much as I used to be, but he was kind of the running joke on that channel because everybody knew who he was. I could remember his name back then. His wife actually gets on also, and they just run. I think sometimes he just runs it. It just runs it over and over and over, and he's not really there.
Can we get a link to Red Summit stream? He's on after us.
Yeah,
and then this is what I was talking about, the MUF map. And all you got to do is Google MUF map and just make sure that you have your parental filtering on. And you'll be able to see this. And what's really handy about this is that you can tell what certain bands are going to be open and where you can propagate to. And so if you take a look at this, you can see most of the United States right now that is east of the Mississippi. The MUF's like 30, 38, 30, 31, 32, 36. So that means that all of that has 10 meters open right now. And like you can get that down to like, looks like South America and into Brazil and stuff. And then if you look, there's even a line open all the way over to Australia right now, the northern tip of Australia. But Spain, looks like Spain, Portugal, parts of Africa are open via 10 meters right now. And so that's because the daylight, right, is Joe Brett is heating that up, right, and it's creating density in the ionosphere, and so get after it, boys.
Yeah, I
What's
took
up,
this.
though?
Like, boy, I didn't know what he was talking about at first here, but my voice is a little raspy this morning, so I guess that's what he's talking about. I actually watched one of his videos this morning on the try. He's running 3 verticals on 40 and showing that on his MMA, however, I can't ever say that one, but I'm going to do that. 40 is hard to get a Yagi up on, although I've looked at some shorty 40s, but I don't know how good they are for Yagis.
Abe did a video on a shorty 40. Didn't you?
Different shorty 40.
I think you might be talking about the sporty 40. Mine's the shorty 40.
Maybe it is sporty. I think it's shorty, though. It's actually, that's been around for a while from Mosley Antennas. It's a little small Yagi. It's only 14. It's only a 14-foot boom. So, a couple companies have that. What do you want?
Thump's here.
Yeah, we've awakened the Thump.
We've awakened him, and the first thing he did was complain like an old man about the chat. Because I
think he's saying to spam the chat. I think he's saying drive engagement in the chat.
Drive engagement.
That's got to be it. Totally it.
That's got to be.
Yeah, but my Shorty 40, it's basically a 20-meter end-fed half-wave antenna, and then I've got an induction coil on the end of it, and then like 6 more feet of wire, which gives me a 40-meter end-fed half-wave. At the length of my antenna is about 42 feet long versus traditionally 66 feet. Now, the thing is, I have it tuned for digital modes on 40 meters, and it's tight. So the induction coil adds Q, right? So it lowers the bandwidth on that, but it works really well on 20 and 10. Now, because you need a full 40-meter end-fed half-wave in order to get 15, I don't get 15 on it. I can use my tuner to get like 12, and I can get 15 sometimes, and depending upon how it's mounted. But it's a really nice little portable antenna. I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, totally different than the.
Go ahead.
Totally different than the Shorty 40 I'm talking about. I'm talking Yagi. Gain.
I thought Don had an interesting question, and it brings up an interesting point to me too, because I'm on 10 meters right now, and
Well, maybe it's your antenna, bro.
Well, it could very well be.
Well, I'm sure.
But so the thing is that with things like FT8, it's going to be greater than it is for a single sideband because FT8's a lighter signal, right? And
it's more like CW.
Also with FT8, it can actually decode signals that are inside the noise floor as opposed to above it, which you would need for SSB.
I guess the root question there that Don didn't ask is, where is the MUF map generated from?
So there's these stations across, not radio stations. They're these propagation stations across the globe. And I shouldn't say that. I should say across the disk, across the Earth. And what they do is that they send a signal up into ionosphere probe things. They send a signal straight up into the ionosphere, and then they measure how much of the signal comes back down. I can't remember the name of the device, but they do this all over the place, and they're able to tell atmospheric conditions that way and then predict. And all these things I think are predictive models. They're not they're not 100% accurate. Some of these may take information from propagation reporting tools that people use, like you have people running Whisper and stuff like that, and they can also tell you where certain frequencies are propagating, and they may feed those into a database and get them that way. I don't know precisely where this one gets its data, though.
Yeah.
What I understood,
it says right on there. It says it gets the data from ionosphere, whatever. I can't pronounce that. Operators around the world distributed through GIR. So,
well, that's what they tell you, but it's really the birds that the NSA is using to track all this stuff.
Right.
Ionoson, that's NSA code for pigeon.
So let me read this. You guys tell me what band I'm talking about. It says sporadic E is mainly a seasonal event that late spring and early summer being prime time for the mode. A shorter, less intense period occurs during the midwinter, often between Christmas and New Year's. So you would probably think I'm talking about 6 meter, but this is 10 is the same. That's what I was saying. It's very similar to 6. It's just that you can probably get farther distances on 10 meter more often than you can on 6.
Well, some people would argue and say 10 meters isn't HF. 10 meters is VHF. And so
really?
I don't get into all those holy war fights. I just say 10 meters is 10 meters.
Yes, it says also goes in tropical latitudes, 10 meters is open throughout the sunspot cycle, although propagation is often confined to areas lying along the equator. So I guess where you're at, maybe Alabama is just shut down for 10 meter, Jim. You guys just might be in the wrong place there. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
but see, you probably don't have a specific 10 meter antenna, right? So you probably use
it's a DX commander.
Okay.
Yeah.
And verticals are usually pretty good on 10, from what I've seen. So
I just took it down and checked everything like a month or so ago, and from what I remember, it was.
You said your SWR is good, right?
Spot on, yeah, 1.01.
So it could be time of day for you.
But it's probably sitting right next to your rusted out Buick and all that other stuff.
Well, he said it's right next to a
that
shed.
Buick is not rusted, and it's on blocks, so it doesn't get rusty on the underside.
You don't want to ruin those. You don't want to ruin the tires by not putting it on blocks, right?
Man, I even put new vinyl on the Landau roof to keep it supple. I'm just saying.
Okay, I had an old Riviera, '67 Riviera with a vinyl roof. They just don't do that anymore, do they?
Yeah, and
they
I'm
usually
not
end up rusting out.
with a yard full of rusted out Buicks, Joe Brett, just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay, now Joe Brett actually brought some science to that whole conversation. Said, "Are you mocking my rusted out Buick?" He said the Southeast is not so great. I mean, I see signals.
The dirty South. The dirty South.
And I turned the amp on, and I ain't got nobody answering me. I'm like, okay, I give up.
So,
well, the amp won't improve your reception, just so you know.
Yes.
My reception is fine. Nobody's answering.
So Joe Brett's 28.0 to 28.3. Is that what he threw up there earlier? That's novice sub bands is what they actually put it in here. But I think novice and technician's kind of the same. 28.3 to 28.5 for phone. If you guys are techs, so 28.3 to 28.5 phone. And Chris is in the chat there. I don't know what the frequency is for that repeater you're talking about. So it's probably out of their area where they can actually talk.
The New York repeater? I don't remember.
Chris is in
See if
here,
you can
so
hit it.
He loves it. Yeah, hit it, Jim. Hit it hard.
What we have over here is Callum, and he is saying that he really enjoys the Saturday stream. We enjoy you enjoying it, Callum.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for being here, bro.
I woke up to Callum this morning. He was talking about the Great Circle. I want to say the Great Circle map. And
it uses a globe projection of the Earth to get the exact distance across the globe.
Well, he was estimating which directions for the U.S. and for New Zealand. He wants to get Raleigh in New Zealand, and he's setting up his tri-band or his tri-antenna setup, his verticals, so he can. It's basically like a Foursquare, only it's 3, where you can hit a certain switch and it puts all the power that way, right? I think he can shoot 2 directions with that. Is what
just which one is the
Yeah, he says just Google it, and it'll tell you the directions. You can put in your. I think he put his grid section in, and it tells him what direction it puts you on the map, and it'll tell you what direction you need to aim your antennas at. With antennas, you can aim.
Yeah, I did a video, and somebody asked me how they would tune or test a directional antenna, and so I pulled up an azimuthal mat, and then what it does is it puts you at the center of the projection, and then you have your degrees all the way around it, and then you can figure out which direction. Hey, Rob, that you can point your antenna, and it's really helpful for that. What they were asking me is how can they test the directionality strength or the front to back on a Yagi, and what I told them is that find a web SDR, use the azimuthal map, point at that SDR, and then you'll get an S meter reading off of the SDR interface. Then rotate the antenna 180 degrees, do it again, and then you'll be able to get your front to back ratio, your real world front to back ratio off of the new S meter reading.
And I think that's Callum's thing is he's got so much Europe behind him. I think that he wants to shut people off. That's the great thing about Yagis and directional antennas. You can shut. I mean, you're not going to totally shut them off. I have guys just like blow into my Yagis anyhow that were close enough. So beacons, because propagation.
Pull that up, Jim.
What? Pull it up, Jim. There you go.
All right, so that's 10 meters, right?
Yeah, this is 10 meters the last 3 hours. Actually, let's just tighten that down to.
But see how like where you're hitting in South America and Europe and all that? Yeah. So if I go right back to the MUF map, you can see that's exactly what you see on the MUF map right there, where those have 10 meters opening. That this edge right here. Oh, you can't see my mouse. But that eastern edge of South America and Europe. So it is tracking towards FT8.
Yeah. I mean, it's showing that it's now that's received by. So if I go to sent received by and update it, of course I get a few more stations. So I'm getting all the way from Northwest U.S. down to the bottom of Africa.
Right, which is I'm going to throw the MUF map back up. But if you do that, you can see that we're down here. It's the same color all the way down to the tip of Africa.
Yeah. Okay.
So take that, Don.
Ooh, Don, watch out.
Burn.
So it's saying the AM subbands 29.0 to 29.2, formerly commonly practiced in 10 kilohertz steps. They said they stopped that in the 70s, but with the influx. This is where I was talking about the influx of 23 channel CB equipment modified for 10-meter use. So I guess that's if I'm reading that right, that's they want you to keep your AM in that 29 to 29.2. Does that sound correct for you guys? I don't know.
That's pretty narrow for. Well, I mean, it's 200 kilohertz, right? And how wide is AM? Is a lot wider than sideband. I mean, AM should be six wide.
Those guys are like 6 wide, I think, a lot of times. Yeah.
Well, because you've got the carrier and then the upper and lower sidebands all in.
And then it's saying the FM. Yeah, go ahead. Well, go ahead.
No, that was it.
I was just saying
Don's being Don. He says only if the SDR receiver can hear you off the back of the beam. And that's true. So you would just find one that can. Or the other thing is, I'm surprised if he wouldn't have to do a top level trolling. What he would have said is, "How do you know you're not hitting at long path?" Right.
So he's phoning in the trolling, is what you're saying. Don's phoning it in. He may not be awake yet.
So if you hear yourself as an echo, you're probably hitting long path, right?
Yeah. What I'm saying to the SDR though, because when I said it rotated 180 degrees.
Yeah. So they're saying the FM subband is 29.0 to 29.7. Oh, they were saying that now that there's a 29.025, 29.035 is what the people are, I guess, trying to hit. It probably has something to do with the CBs back then too.
I feel a lot of love in this chat this morning. I do.
Well, I'm telling you, them boys are on fire today.
They are. They are. Apparently, Al got new coffee last night or something, and made a fresh pot this morning.
Yeah. So in the Simplex, it's talking 29.3 FM Simplex.
Take care, Callum.
See you, Callum. I think old Don's got him a Vente Grande double shot espresso with foam on top or something this morning.
You know, I can't remember if Don even drinks coffee. To tell you the truth,
I don't know.
I had breakfast with him a bunch of times in
at Huntsville. Yeah.
At Huntsville, but I don't remember if he was actually drinking coffee. I know me and Dennis we're trying to wait. Well, especially Dennis after the
Jim,
first
I'm getting
day
reports that your audio is low, so you got to turn it up. And then while you're doing that, I gotta make water. I drank too many sodas this morning.
Oh my gosh, we're not even halfway through.
What kind of outfit is this? My audio's low.
I don't know. I'm probably mine's a little loud today. Maybe that's it.
I think you're a little hot, honestly. But
audio-wise, thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim.
That clear.
I'll tell my wife you think that.
That old man Graybeard is not doing it for me. I'm just saying.
I can turn it down a little bit. Maybe I can come down to you a little bit there.
Well, I wonder.
It just depends on where I get this microphone. They're talking satellite stuff too for AMSAT. So you guys check AMSAT for satellite operations. Many amateur radio satellites have their uplink or downlink in the 2900 megahertz range, guys. I saw a video today. I was up early before the show today, and I think I'm going to try it. I'm going to share. I shared it with the Ape already. I'm going to share it with you, Jim. I think I actually shared the antenna with you a while back, but you don't have the radio for it. So
what
they were using it. The guy was using the 705, and the way he was using it was interesting. I'll have to show you the video because he's using the scope to find the signals, and he just tuning right to them. For that,
I've done that. I've done that with.
Well, you can do it with your 9700. Yes.
Had to go.
Well,
man, did you make it?
I did it with that Kenwood 570 that I bought from TO.
Does it have a scope?
No, but I tapped the IF and ran it into an SDR.
Right. You set one to it. That's right.
Did you turn yourself up there?
He did.
I nudged.
I went down and he turned up. So
I think Chuck is just extra loud.
Could be.
Now I'm too loud. Okay, well, Don, never mind.
I listen. They're probably messing with you a little bit.
Don might
thank
be
you,
messing
Marvin.
with you there.
Marvin, thank you. At least there's an appreciative fan in the chat likes my Illinois shirt. That's right.
So, can you guys tell me any organizations or enthusiast groups? Have you guys ever actually? I'm not sure if I joined it or not, but I used to listen in and participate. There's a few groups for 10 meters. 10 meters is a popular band for a lot of people.
ARRL.
No. So the 1010 International Club, I guess it's a club, and then the Breeze Shooters ARC. When 10's working, you guys can get to them. They have their daily nets. I don't know what the time is. It didn't say anything about that. Those guys have let's see which one. They've been around since the 60s.
They're doing a 10 meter
the
net.
1010, yeah, the 1010 Club has been around since the 60s. It says, and I actually used to participate in it every once in a while when I first got into this because I had pretty decent. I have a 4-element 10 meter Yagi that I had up. That was I actually used it for 11, and then I retuned it for 10 when I got my ham license. It's not the best. You think 4-element, oh yeah, it's really good, but it was really too short to be. It would have probably been a better 3-element antenna, but pretty cheap. I forget the name of the company, but if you guys are interested, I mean, what is it? It's like 10 or 12 feet long.
Yeah, I think Don's got a 10.
Sirio is the company, guys. They make a 3 and a 4-element.
How do you spell that?
SIRO. It's a pretty nice. It's pretty easy to set up.
I think Don's got a 10 meter Moxon that he got from MFJ. Now the price has gone up in the last couple of years, but it used to be really cheap, like less than $150.
Yeah, he always hits me up. Why aren't you making these in aluminum? Because aluminum's expensive. I try to keep stuff cheaper for people, and it can be heavier. But it actually does. That antenna I was talking about for the satellites uses a 2-meter Moxon with a 70 centimeter Yagi.
They don't have a
yellow
website.
Sirio? Yeah, sure they do.
At least I'm not finding it. Oh, it's Sirio. You
SIRO. SIRO antennas.
IO.
Oh, is it IO?
Yes, it's IO.
Yeah, he said he got it for 109, but he probably bought that back in the 80s.
Well, he's been around a while, so
because we know
I think he's been a ham for a long time.
He got back when it was in.
Oh yes, it is SIRIO, right?
Yeah, here's their website. It's sirio.store.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you talking about now, Charles? Which antenna?
If you look into they have Yagis. Also,
CB and 10 meter base.
Someplace in there, and they make a 4-element. Is that it right there? No.
Let me
actually, that Game Master that's right there is one of the ones that Callum talks about a lot. You can make your own Game Master. That's a vertical though. I actually have their Tornado also, which is a pretty lightweight version, but it's a pretty good antenna. I've got it all taped up in the back there. I'll probably set it up for 10 one of these days if
this
it really gets good.
This is completely designed by electromagnetic stimulation.
I can't read it, so I tell you how to get there. Look, go up.
Let me back out.
It should be in that section. They make a nice. I mean, it's fairly easy to put together. 4-element. You guys can check this out if you're interested.
A Yagi or a Yagi Moxon.
A Yagi.
There. Oh, is that it right there?
Yeah, there's 3 elements. There's a 3-element 27-3-3. That's the 3-element version.
For 145, that ain't bad.
That's not bad.
Jim's going to order that before the show's over.
And any of you techs, I mean, especially if you're not planning on getting a general for a while, that could be an easy antenna for you to throw up, especially a 3-element.
Now, see, this one looks more interesting to me.
Yeah, but we're talking gain on the other antenna, James.
Well,
making contacts.
I got an amplifier. I got all the gain I need to worry about.
Oh, damn.
I'm just saying.
Antenna, I'm telling you. If you can't hear them, you can't work them, buddy.
Well, the thing about the directionals is that, like Chuck was talking about, and asking to explain it up, is that you have nulling on the sides and the back, right?
Yep.
And you don't get with omnidirectional.
Colin, I think that's a new price. I think that's what you can buy them for. They're on Amazon too, if you look it up. If you get the number and everything.
Yeah. Colin is asking if it's from 1985.
Maybe they haven't caught up to the inflated prices yet in Italy. I think it's an Italian company there.
It sounds like it.
Sounds like it.
Pretty well,
Make
pretty decent.
antennas in
The
olive
Yagi's
oil.
the Yagi's pretty decent made. I mean, I'll tell you. And you guys, there's a 4-element one too. But you
I'm
guys,
looking for it.
especially you
Hold on.
guys on the East Coast, Tex, shooting into Europe, I bet you can get a bunch of contacts. I know our buddy Chris will contact you.
Do they have a search box up there that you can type in Yagi?
Take that number, go back to that Yagi.
Oh my God. Okay, which one of you two is in charge of me today?
Go to okay, right there.
Well,
What's
I'm
that
saying
one?
it's like my grandma
No,
using
no,
the
that's
internet.
do the so put in 27-4 and see if that comes up. There it is, right there.
This guy?
Oh no,
No.
you clicked on the wrong one.
Well, that's
Isn't
where
that
the
it right
mouse
there?
was, and you said, that's it right there.
Okay,
That's 'cause you're all
couldn't tell where I
jittery
was.
with that.
So 190 for the 4-element one.
Coffee, baby.
It's very strong but lightweight, high gain quality. The
So you guys
Yagi
might-
antenna that won't break the bank.
Let me get back to the 1010 International. Guys interested in making contacts on 10 meters, maybe look them up and look up the breeze shooters. I'm sure you can look up both of those on the internet and find some information on when they're actually on the air. Look at that thing.
Yeah, I like it.
That's a beast.
It's
So-
really not that big.
So
You can put it on a push-up pole, dude.
what
And don't believe the game
what's the
figures.
difference in the side lobes in the forward or reverse 8 dB wise? I mean, I know it's going to be less. Are we talking 3 dB less or?
Well, go to the
Well-
DBs on this antenna. Just
See,
for
when you talk about like
reference.
what the gain is on it. Chuck, what do you think that is? About 7 dB a gain?
Probably 6 or 7. I don't know what they actually. They're a little like a CB company, a little over what they really are. Probably
But
it should be at least 6. You would think.
So that, but
'cause-
what's important is that it's only gain front facing. So any noise or interference that you would get from the sides and the back are nulled out. So more than the gain number is the front to back ratio that you get,
right.
because that's going to lower your overall noise floor because you're not picking up signals from all over the place that are not of interest.
Here's
You're only picking up signals from in front of you mainly.
here's our numbers.
So 11. It says 11 dB on 27. Basically, it says 10 meter hand band. So that's probably a little high, I would think. Although it's full size. Like my Mosley is 3 elements, 16 feet long on the boom, but it's a coil type thing, tri-bander, and I think it's good for around 6.
Well, that's also
Sorry.
DBI, right? So if it was DBD, which is the real way to measure
Well,
that,
that's what they're saying, though.
Right
then
there,
it would be
it's 11
it would be about
dBd, so
9 DBD, right?
I would think it's probably closer to 9, but it definitely is good. If you guys, I mean, if you want to get some DX and you're on the East Coast,
They're saying 11 dBd right here, Abe.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
13.15
Oh, okay.
dBi.
I was just looking at the end and saw DBI. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Hold on a second here. Let me-
Put on your.
I
put on
doubt
your
it. I
cheaters.
mean, if you looked up to like a true,
DBD.
this company's kind of like a CB company, and if you remember the one I just did the video on, guys, the fiberglass one, they were saying 9 dBi on a vertical. There's no way it gets that. So I would
Yeah, I
say
took-
it's a little less than that, but still
I took my glasses
better than a
off, but,
vertical or a dipole.
18-foot turning radius. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too big, but if you're just getting into it, buy the 3-element. You'll still do really well with that one. Especially like I said, anywhere on the east side of the United States, getting into. But if you're on the other hand, if you're on the West Coast, you could probably do some good into Japan, China, and Australia, and New Zealand. So
Yeah, Gary's
just-
calling BS.
yeah, it's no way. I doubt that a really long 4-element M squared might have that much.
No,
That's what I'm saying. You just kind of, and then the game master there probably has like 9 or something, which it was totally not right. But still, that's a 5/8 wave. I think there's why you get a little extra with that antenna.
he's saying they're calling it a half wave.
That one is. The other one you pulled up was a 5/8.
Yeah,
They
it
may,
was.
they may
This
have 2
is-
models.
This is 0 dBd 2.15 dBi,
Yeah.
which, yeah.
And that's, if you watched, well, that was for 40, but if you watched Callum's videos on those verticals when he does that on the MMA, it's a little bit high. He's in the negatives, like a -8, I think, or 7 for a vertical quarter wave. But that's a half wave, you said. So I bought antennas from this company. They're fairly legit as far as how they make them, and is it as heavy as duty as one of the old CB antennas? No, but so
interesting. I never heard of them.
Yeah.
So if
I got into them because I was into CB for so long, so
I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
ask it.
If I have my choice between getting a vertical or a Moxon 10-meter antenna,
A vertical or a Moxon?
yeah,
There's well, if you can put a Moxon up, you're way better. You know that.
I knew the answer. I was waiting for you to say it.
My 11, I have to say, my 11-meter Moxon was pretty comparable to that 4-element.
To the Yagi.
It wasn't.
And that's
it
why
wasn't
I asked
quite
the
as
question,
strong
because
it wasn't quite as strong.
You're going to get some gain though over on a Moxon versus a vertical.
Right.
Yeah.
And just I want to say I am going to work on that our 2-meter thing. I just need to change the threads on it. I've got it worked.
Chip chop, son.
I've got it worked out. It's just, yeah. Well, I don't know if we can.
I got people emailing and calling all the time. When is the Chucky Moxon going to come out?
Operators are standing by.
Car Moxon.
Okay.
The demand is high.
I mean, we could sell it the way it is and it'll still work, but the new threads I've got are way better.
They also want the car hex, or as they refer to it, the Chucky hex.
Chucky hex. Yeah, man, that thing is.
Also asking about a vertical. I mean, come on. The R&D department in this company is slacking off.
Man, for the vertical, I cannot find. And so I tried to sign up for that place. I tried to sign up and I created an account and everything, and it still will not let me log in. And then so I reset my password and I used the temporary password. It will not let me log in to see my cart contents.
Oh, that's bad. Because we were talking the other day about we couldn't find the ones we want to use, and I found them. Company had almost 1,000 of them, but Ape's having a hard time trying to order them.
I can't work the internet apparently.
Gizmochi antennas. Jackson
Well, it's probably
says.
your NSA filter that is blocking you, Abe.
It could be. Are you Googling the Gizmochi?
I'm on it right now, Chief.
I'm not sure that's the right spelling for that because I think I know what he's talking about.
I found it.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
I remember this antenna.
Don't doubt the chat, Chuck.
This is an interesting antenna also.
The Gizmomachi.
The Gizmochi beams are made to build upon. You can start out with a 3-element beam and increase your boom.
Why don't you share it with
click
us?
the button, knucklehead. I was looking at the actual page. Oh my lord!
See what I'm working with over here? It's like the cloud.
Show them the picture of it first. Show them the picture of it, James. It's an interesting. Yeah, there you go. So instead of having 2, it's got 3.
Well, actually, what they're saying, Chuck, is that you can. That's what they're saying right here. You can start out with a 3-element and then increase the boom length, number of elements, gain, etc.
I was talking about each element has 3 instead of 2.
Oh, okay. I got you.
It's kind of like a triangle looking thing. This was real big in the CB world here also. As you see at 10, 11. Usually a lot of those antennas will advertise 10 or 11 because it's so close.
Look at this thing. It's 20 dB.
Well, that was 6 elements, so probably not. That's a lot. People would be running those things everywhere. But those were very popular too, especially in the CB world.
Mm-hmm. Why specifically in the CB world? Just what these guys cater to?
Chuck? I think so, because they cater to 10, 11 meter. Well, and they have 2 meter, 6 meter. So there's a couple more ham bands there.
They have extreme gizmochis.
Oh, look at that thing.
That is extreme.
Oh my
God. It's got gussets underneath the thing to hold it up.
It's got a bit of a sag, but
there's a guy named Chuck.
Look at this dude. This man is a professional.
Oh yeah. That's a big one there. I wonder what that is, because that's bigger than 10 meter. It looks like. It looks like 20 or something.
It doesn't look like Gary likes the Gizmochi.
He doesn't like it.
I'd
He's
be
probably
proud to
owned
have a
one,
tower
knowing
that
that guy.
tall and hang a wire on it.
That's a big tower, dude. That's like 80 feet. Oh,
That's
103.
103 feet.
103
say
feet
100.
in the air. Good Lord.
Well, you're allowed 200? Is that what it is?
I think that's right, and it depends on where you live in relation to an airport, too.
Right. Richard's Monster Beam, Itasca, Texas. What band is that? I'll have to contact that guy. Maybe I've talked to him.
I'm going to go look up all the hams in. I'm going to go look up all the hams here and see if I can find Crazy.
And
Cooter
see if you can get him. Crazy
in
Cooter.
Osceola.
I've talked to Crazy Cooter.
I wonder if that's all.
I've talked to that guy.
Too. I thought that was my father-in-law because he was a crazy.
It doesn't say
Cooter.
what it is. It's at least 10, I bet.
It doesn't say. It just. And what I'm saying is he's got a 9-element
Bravo Sierra
beam, but geez, if I had a 103-foot tower, I'd just hang a damn wire on it and talk, half wave 80 meters. It'd be awesome.
Nothing like that beam.
Don over here saying that he gets better propagation if he has a antenna that's mounted off the ground versus a vertical. And so I did a video on ground planes where I was doing modeling in ANA gal and showing that if you get a dipole antenna horizontally mounted, not an inverted V, that's mounted at a half wavelength, you get better propagation. There's almost no doubt about it. And that's why I always tell people you can get so if you look at a 10-meter antenna, it only has to be 16 feet off the ground, and that is pretty low. That's pretty doable, and it's only 16 feet wide, so it's not like it's a difficult antenna. And you are going to get that. That's probably for 10 meters. 10-meter dipole half wave is probably the best all around antenna. Now with a Yagi or with a Hex or with a Moxon, you're going to get the directionality element, which is going to outperform it. But the 10-meter dipole is the way to go.
Cubicle quads, man. Supposedly they open the band and close the band.
Well, James Hannibal showed up.
Look at that.
Well, he just woke up.
Man.
I guess he's probably flooding up there, and
he's probably just getting out of bed.
I bet he got some rain too.
Although
the other day I got rain and they didn't.
Stays in the bed later than Thump does.
I know. I'm surprised.
Just because Thump's watching doesn't mean he's not still in bed.
Good point.
That's true.
Or awake. Uh-oh.
I see it. Come on, man. You're talking crazy, son. Get out of here with that.
We had Hamstick on the other night, man. Actually, I talked to him a little bit after you guys left, and we had some nice discussions.
That's one of the best screen names, Hamstick. I think it's awesome.
Hamstick Eric. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he told us how he got that. You have to go watch the show to find out, though. We're not going to give it up here.
Right.
So I gotta get you a Moxon, Jim, just so you can try one of these days. We got to get you something that's a Moxon. For what they are, they work really well. You don't have a lot of. I mean, there's different ways of making them. I always like that little umbrella-looking thing. But,
did we get a link to Red Summit's?
I done pasted that a long time ago.
He pasted a long time ago.
Chip,
what is Red doing today?
He's
Red's got
today,
the
Red?
radar. The radar guys are on coming on his channel.
Okay.
Actually, I think they're live now. So if you are interested in that, you need to jump over to Red's channel.
Oh yeah, are we over? No, we're not over.
No, we still got.
No, he's 30 minutes. I just got a 30 minute thing.
10:30? I didn't remember.
30 minutes. I just got a thing from him. It's 30 minutes.
For God's sake.
Scared me there for a second. I thought it was 8:30 already, or my time, I should say.
Martin says he's got an inferiority complex with his half-wave fiberglass at 10 meters. Your antenna is up at 10 meters, son. You're doing all right.
Like I'm sitting here playing cards
10 meters, 30 feet, man.
You nerve-wracking sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Is that one of those antennas? What kind of fiberglass antenna, Martin?
Yeah. Where did you buy it, Martin?
What is it? Is it the one I was that was a half wave? The one I did the other day, the 99, the A99.
Oh,
actually,
Lord.
There we go. Well, we're going to say thank you, Don. Much appreciated. Let me see if I can find
guest,
the.
Don bought that antenna, Jim.
Which antenna did Don buy?
He bought the Antron, or I forget what the new name is, the A99.
Okay.
When I did the video on that, I asked you guys if you knew what it was, and you guys had no clue.
Right. I mean, if the smoking ape didn't know
Super
about
easy.
it,
You know,
why
Ape
bother? I'm just saying,
he
right?
claims that he was a CB guy back in high school and all that stuff, but I don't know, man. If you never heard that antenna,
CB
he
guy
probably
back in
forgot
high
about
school.
it.
We didn't have internet back then. How am I supposed to know
We
about all
did
the
not have
antennas?
internet in 1978. That is correct.
That's true. SolarCon, yes, SolarCon's a new model. And Don, I looked at my old Antron 899, which is the original company, and it's totally different how it mounts to the mask. It has a bar that comes out the side with the holes in it for the things instead of clamping around the two. Actually, a better design, but I bet you it's way cheaper to make it the way they make it now, because they were bought out by the company. But at least they're a U.S. company still. But remember, if you guys buy one of those things, make sure you paint it before you throw it up. You can paint it white if you want to, but I think black or like my camo green kind of blends in better sometimes.
I camo them. I have a couple
I've done
of
that too.
KB9 VBRJ poles for 2 meters, one on the house and one on the shop. And the first thing I did was scuff
You
them
painted
up
that?
and then camoed them. Hell yeah.
You painted that beautiful. I mean, those are beautiful.
Yes,
and then
because
you clean them up.
because
and shine them.
she who knows where all the boomsticks are and cooks food said,
Okay.
"Why are you putting up a shining copper pole next to our house?" And I said, "It won't be shiny in a minute, sweetie. Just
Thank you,
well-
Lee. Much appreciated.
Lee, that's going to be my project this week because it's going to rain for the next couple of days. So maybe
So
I'm
no
going
yurt
to be
work?
inside.
no yurt."
We can't work. I don't even want to be out there because it's going to be a muddy mess. Rained all night.
Lon saying we did have CompuServe back
That's
then.
right. We did.
I suppose.
2400 baud. After
I didn't start
fancy.
getting on the internet till about 98, 99,
So
something like that.
so are you
It
going
was
to tell
all
me?
text?
Are you going to tell me that the CBers back in those days couldn't find those antennas because there was no internet? Come on.
Well, they could probably get CB magazine and stuff like
in a
that. But I mean,
catalog on
when I was
paper,
like when I was 17,
Yeah.
I wasn't reading CB magazines.
like a barbarian. Yeah, I was not reading CB magazines
Well, you weren't reading.
when I was a teenager.
Yeah, Eric's talking about the IMAX 2000. That's their big boy. That's the 5/8 one. That thing is like, ooh. You talk about it on a win, man. That thing's all over the place.
And reading magazines might be a euphemism. I'm just saying.
You were reading the pictures in your kind of magazines. Fondling the pictures.
Jason, yes. Oh, thank you, Jason. I actually announced this in Toads Digital in the Discord. I am migrating the Toads Digital from the cloud server to a local Raspberry Pi because I'm tired of dealing with 2 computers and the internet. So I'm moving it all here. And yes, it's down because I have to
So
change
we're getting
IP
rid of
address.
the DigitalOcean host.
Yeah, the problem is the D-Star stuff because it all has to go over the internet and it's all sketchy, and I want it on one computer.
Why
I put
did
it
we
all
do
in
that in the first
DigitalOcean.
place?
What, the DO?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because at the time I didn't realize that I had to have physical dongles to get D-Star to decode. So I was going to run the whole thing. So you can run YSF and DMR, P25, and XDN. All of those are all software. That's all you need. Could have ran the whole thing in DigitalOcean, which is what I would have done. But when you add in D-Star, you've got to use those dongles, and that kind of takes the cloud out of the equation. So
Thank
I'm
you,
migrating it all here. I've made the
Thanks,
DNS
Ron.
changes, so it's broke. It's broke the
I won't
original website. It'll be back
I won't
up.
tell you what. I won't tell you the sign language we got for Ape hitting that button right then from Jim.
Right.
You guys.
Well,
can
listen.
figure
All
it
I'm
out
saying
yourself.
is that he's
He was
it
laughing.
a simple.
I saw him laughing. He asked the
He
question,
does.
trying to
It was
answer
a
it,
simple
and then
answer,
he
and he's
cuts
all
me
like blah
off.
blah 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 blah.
I'm an engineer. It's what I do. Shut up.
And I'm like, oh man, I ain't trying to hear all that.
You big old dummy head global VPN manager.
That's right. Don't forget it.
I was explaining how things work.
Colin says 10 meters dead there in the VK land there. So
Yeah, it looks like
maybe
it
that's
might
your
be.
problem, James. Maybe that's
Yeah,
your
I'm going to
problem,
follow Joe Brett's advice and try 10 meters later this afternoon.
It's more of a mid For me, I mean, I'm sure that I have nothing on 10 right now. I could actually fire it up, actually.
Man, 17 has been really good for me. 15, 17.
All right, antenna. Let's hit the man button.
What's he
there's
messing
somebody
with
on
there?
He's probably having a stroke.
My new radio.
Well, which one? You just bought a whole mess.
The EGAD. Oh wait, no, we don't like the EGAD no more, right?
No, I still like that
That's
radio.
the old
Here,
and
listen.
busted.
I haven't heard you
can-
mention the EGAD in a while.
Let's see if we can hear
Right?
this guy.
Or is he talking? Is he playing with the herpes?
we shamed the EGAD right out of him.
That was all you, Abe.
Can you guys hear that? Here he comes.
Nope. You got it turned on?
Thank you very much for the 5Q report. Again, you were 5-5 in Kansas. Thank you for the contact on 73.
28433, man. That's working. That guy's in Europe, though.
Get on there, Chuck, and drop a verse.
10 meter. I don't know who that guy was. I can only hear what you guys are. Sounds Italian. Yeah, Italy. Roger. I can't hear the other guy.
I don't even know.
28433, James. I can't hear the other guy.
What shirt you got on, Abe? That looks like a Corky shirt.
It's the quirky shirt about 14652.
Good day, weekend. 7003 Kilo Unit from Quebec. Quebec Radio. Bye-bye.
Kilo 6 uniform Sierra Yankee.
Here we go. Chuck's getting active.
Kilo 6 uniform Sierra Yankee.
Again, you are still again.
Kilo 6 uniform Sierra Yankee.
5-9 plus 10. Say again.
Kilo Charlie 9, Kilo Charlie
you didn't hear me.
you are 5-4, 54.
That's a French
a long
accent.
ways. Maybe it's French. You're right. So 10's open, James. I don't know. Can you hear that guy?
Chuck.
Can you hear that guy?
No, I'm on FT8 on 17, son.
See, there's your problem.
That's why you're not hearing 10 meters.
That's
I was on FT8 on 10
Meters.
meters. It's meters. It's when we're talking about it.
10 meter.
It's 10 meters.
Band. The 10 meter
When we're
band.
talking about the band. It's just one meter. That's right.
Oh, he wants me to wave my
French.
hands.
That's right.
He wants to talk with my
he's
hands.
French. Martin, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Damn, Martin. Marvin.
No, I was
Chuck
talking about
moved to
Martin.
28435. He said. I don't know why. I don't have anybody there.
Chuck's using the radio that he bought that he wouldn't stop talking about before he bought it.
N9PED KK6 USY. Got you.
Is that the Hermes he's using? What is he using? Who knows? Chuck, is
He
it
wants to keep
drifting?
it secret. He wants to keep it
Yeah,
secret.
you're 5'7" here. 5'7". Good signal. No problem at all reading you there. All right, 5'9" South Dakota. Good making contact there. Thank you for the contact.
Oh, was that Marvin you got?
Yeah.
Yes, you said South Dakota. That's Marvin.
Yeah, he has a good signal there. I don't know what
You
are
ought-
we using,
you ought to
Marvin?
be able to get
I'm
10
on
meters
a
to
Yagi,
Nebraska,
Marvin.
I'm just saying. If someone had
I'm
a real
using a
call sign.
tri-bander there, Marvin. I don't know what you were using, but you had a good signal there. 100 watts here. That was my new radio. I haven't done a video on it, so I'm not going to really say what it is. It's very good sounding radio, though.
It sounded a
Even though
little
you
tinny.
guys-
It sounded a little
Yeah,
tinny. to me.
yeah.
I thought it
Yeah,
sounded
you're
muffled.
just
and
jealous.
Like it was kind
Muddy.
of hollow sounding or something.
Like
Yeah.
it was like the cheapest Chinese speaker they could get off of Banggood they put in.
That's right.
Right.
And look at Colin throwing out his fancy spelling of meter.
Mitre.
Mitre. Mm-hmm. Colin, that's
All right.
why we're rebels, man. We wanted to spell them words all the same way, meter and meter.
So you guys
Busted,
go out there and
sucker.
try the 10-meter band today. Look at
You're
this.
busted, Charles.
The new secret. She knows what it is. She's messing with me. She is messing with me. Hey, I almost turned one over and bought one for the same price. So not quite, but close. Only because it was a good deal at the time. So
Yeah, that's why I sold a bunch of stuff yesterday because I'm trying to save up for a new VNA. It's ridiculous.
you sold VNAs to buy a VNA.
Yeah,
He's somebody.
You must be buying that. You buying that one with a big screen this time?
yeah.
Don't you
big
have
monster.
like a regular scope and stuff?
I got all kinds of stuff, but I want this new one is extra shiny, so I want
It is shiny.
Oh, gotcha.
A touchscreen. You can just touch
You
the
can
screen
pinch.
and
I just
move
got
the
one.
signal up and down, slide it right and left, or you can do the zoom thing
One of these
My
days,
first-
Chuck, you need to take
my
that out of
first
the
one.
box.
out of the box.
Well, I did.
Is
I
it even-
took
is
it out and
even
charged
charged?
it the other day.
Okay. Oh
I
my
charged
God.
Making
all right.
progress, boys. Making progress.
Calm down, Charles. Calm down.
It is
Slow
a
down.
sickness, Jim.
There we go. You want to see it? I haven't taken the cover off the screen yet.
You don't want anything to happen to it. I understand.
It's so precious.
All right, boys. Well, that takes
Yep.
us to the end of the show. So thank you for watching, everybody. Enjoy.
You guys don't forget Red. He's
Yep.
what was it? Radar guys.
Yeah, he's
Radar.
got the radar guy.
Have you guys
Guy or
heard the
guys.
radar on the bands lately? We catch it here every once in a while. I don't know if you guys are catching it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I'm hitting the button. Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate
Much
everybody being
appreciated.
here. Thanks.